Amid the raging war with Hamas, 5 weeks on, IDF troops raided the Al-Shifa hospital, which has been used by the Hamas allegedly as the headquarters and command center to carry out terror activities. Days after fighting the Hamas inside the hospital, the IDF entered the building compound and carried out room-by-room searches to hunt down the terrorists. This operation, carried out by Israel, lasted for over 24 hours. The recoveries made from the hospital now are being put out by the IDF as proof that indeed Hamas was sheltering on the hospital campus. During the operation, Israeli troops claimed that they recovered weapons, ammunition, intelligence material, and military equipment. The recoveries have proven the claims of Israel that Hamas maintained a major operation command center at the facility using the patient staff and civilians as a cover. Even US intelligence has now said that Hamas is using Al-Shifa and other Gaza hospitals and tunnels to conceal and support their military operations and hold hostages.
Shalom everyone, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan from the IDF here. I am in the Al-Shifa hospital, as you can see from the sign behind me, and as you can clearly see from the building. We are going to do a one-shot video. One shot, no editing, of all of the evidence that we have found just now in this building of the Shifa. Equipment here is proper hospital equipment, right? Bandages and medical gear. It seems as if there's no real shortage because there's a lot of equipment here, but we'll leave that for another discussion. Let's go see weapons and other prohibited items. As we walk through the main corridor here, our troops did a preliminary search of the area. We tried to uncover the cameras, but all of the cameras have been obstructed. You can see there's black tape covering it. And when our troops opened this closet here, which is in the main part of the clinic, this is what they found. These weapons have absolutely no business being inside a hospital. The only reason they're here is because Hamas put them here, because they use this place, like many other hospitals and ambulances and sensitive facilities inside the Gaza Strip, for their illicit military purposes. So there's Kalashnikov rifles here, even ammunition. And let's go see the next part of what we have here. Another MRI machine, where behind it we also found contraband, similar to what you saw in the other areas. And let's go see the last thing, which is more related to intelligence, which I think we will be able to extract quite a lot of interesting intelligence from. Up here, on top of a spare part of the MRI department, we found another grab bag. It's empty because we emptied it and cleared it so that we could use and see it. So this is where we found it, and here are the contents of the bag. The contents of the bag are full military kit for one Hamas terrorist.
The Al-Shifa hospital director has said that water, electricity and oxygen to all departments were cut off as Israel stormed the premises. Premature babies were transferred to a different ward after incubators stopped working. However, Israeli army maintains it has carried out a precise and targeted operation only against the Hamas in a specified area. In fact, they have also said that medical supplies, incubators have continued to be sent into Al-Shifa. In fact, the IDF spokesperson said that aid was delivered at the entrance of the hospital, which consisted of baby food and other medical supplies.
Based on intelligence information and an operational necessity, IDF forces are carrying out a precise and targeted operation against Hamas in a specified area in the Shifa hospital. The IDF is conducting a ground operation in Gaza to defeat Hamas and rescue our hostages. Israel is at war with Hamas, not with the civilians in Gaza. The IDF forces include medical teams and Arabic speakers who have undergone specified training to prepare for this complex and sensitive environment, with the intent that no harm is caused to the civilians being used by Hamas as human shields. In recent weeks, the IDF has publicly warned time and again that Hamas's continued military use of Shifa Hospital jeopardizes its protected status under the international law. We also gave ample time to stop this unlawful abuse of the hospital. The IDF has also facilitated wide-scale evacuation of the hospital and maintained regular dialogue with hospital authorities.
Now, remember earlier, the Israeli army had released images based on intelligence that they had to claim that the terror group uses hospitals as cover for its fighters and has set up its main command center in and beneath Shifa Hospital. So far, the Israel army doesn't seem to have advanced to parts of the hospital where Hamas's main command center is widely believed to be located in a network of tunnels. Bulldozers have now been brought inside the compound by the Israeli forces to unearth this alleged terror tunnel network. Both Hamas and Shifa Hospital staff deny that any such network exists. But the recoveries made from the hospital do suggest that something completely different from what the version of the Shifa Hospital authorities is. Let's take you through some of the main recoveries that have been made, or at least those that have been displayed by the Israeli Defense Forces. Assault rifles, at least a dozen of them, have been recovered and displayed by the Israeli army. Some of them, in fact, in grab bags that were concealed behind medical equipment or in shelves and closets across the hospital. The other thing that is also very significant and has been recovered is pistols. A number of small such large automatic rifles or small arms have been recovered. In fact, like I said, about 2 to 3 dozen of these have been displayed. Several magazines, ammunition have also been found and displayed. In fact, what is interesting is that the IDF claims that several of these bags or kits for individual terrorists were found to be prepared and stored so that in case of combat, in case of an encounter, they can just be picked up. So it contained things like medical supplies, food supplies, had got ammunition, had got clips, had got assault rifles inside them along with a bulletproof vest. Several grenades were also found. Bulletproof vests with insignia of the Hamas was also found among other military gear. Like I said, there were also some medicine, tablets, and tactical military radios. What's also very interesting is that a couple of laptops have also been found. The IDF claims that some intelligence material was found there, including the picture of one Israeli soldier who has since been released. Ambassador John Leon, acting spokesperson of the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs, joins us now. I want to start by asking you, Ambassador, there is a lot of chatter about how Israel earlier had released those images, you would remember, of an elaborate underground network, but none of that now has been found or unearthed. Why is that?
Look, first of all, I will not go into the strategical and military tactics that we are using. But I want to come back to, let's say, to an overview of the situation. Hamas, the terror organization, which is holding 231 Israeli hostages and also holding the whole Palestinian population of Gaza as hostages. This Gaza terror organization took the Shifa Hospital as the headquarters for their operations. We showed, based on our intelligence, what is underneath the hospital. I want to take you back a couple of years ago to Mosul in Iraq, while ISIS was using a hospital there in order to be the headquarters of their operations in Mosul, and the American army bombed the hospital by an airstrike because, according to international law, even that it is a hospital, if you are telling the people to leave the place, if you are enough in advance explaining what's happening and why you have to attack the place, okay, it is allowed by international law. So we are not bombing the hospital from the air. We are going slowly room by room and check every level of the hospital in order to find the terrorists and what they have left there. Because the terrorists, as you have said before, left even the uniforms and run away as in civilian clothes. So one could think that they are civilian and not terrorists.
Now, Ambassador, if I may, there is a lot of different opinions about what really qualifies as denying right to protection to a hospital, even in the case of a conflict. Now, if
we are not attacking the hospital, it should be clear. We're not attacking the hospital.
But the IDF was firing inside the hospital.
We are in the hospital looking for terrorists that we know that they are there. I cannot disclose intelligence here on the air. But we know that the terrorists are inside. We even have some presumptions that some of the hostages are either still inside, either were there. It is not only one building, it's a huge complex, the Shifa hospital.
But didn't the IDF open fire inside the hospital? How else did you kill the Hamas fighters?
Do you have proofs? Do you have proofs that we opened fire?
I was reading a copy of the Times of Israel, which says that there were 5 Hamas gunmen who were killed inside the hospital. It would logically follow.
They were killed at the entrance of the hospital. They were killed at the entrance of the hospital.
Okay.
So one thing should be clear. You are putting on the same level a barbaric, heinous gang of terrorists who came on October 7th into the sovereign territory of the State of Israel, killed 1,200 and more people, raped women, burned children, took 230 abducted 230 persons, which they are holding, including children. And you are putting them on the same level as the army of a democratic state using the inherent right of self-defense. So please, madam, be a little bit fair and understand when the State of Israel is telling something, it is according to our transparency policy, and we are trying to disclose whatever we can disclose without putting in danger our intelligence or our troops who are right now in Gaza.
100%, sir, but also there is concern because there is a hospital involved. If I may, very respectfully, the evidence put out today by the IDF, first it was tweeted out, then it was deleted, then there was a laptop which was also, whose video was tweeted out, then it was deleted, subsequently it was blurred. Now there are several people who are questioning whether this is planted evidence in order to show the presence of Hamas.
You can ask the BBC reporter who was there with the IDF and the Fox News. The things were deleted because of censorship, because there were sensible images there that the families didn't want them to be published. Okay, so let's take again the situation, madam. Look at what we are dealing with. We are dealing with a group who is putting themselves into a hospital. Now, you are listening to the terrorists. You are bringing the voice of the terrorists. And when I'm speaking as the official spokesperson of the State of Israel, as the spokesperson of a democratic state, which is trying its best, its utmost, not to harm non-involved people, and that's the reasons that we are doing it room by room, you are not believing us.
No, we believe you, but we also have to ask the questions based on the concerns that are being raised. If you can just stay with me.
We brought incubators to the hospital. Now, of course, that the director of the hospital won't tell you that the Israeli army is treating them well, because he is afraid, because Hamas, the terrorist organization, is maybe threatening him or threatening his family, as they are threatening the people from Gaza. The people wanted to leave the hospital, the normal people. We brought there medical staff. We brought there Arabic-speaking people in order to help and in order to be sure that we will not harm non-involved civilians. We are going after terrorists and only after terrorists. And that's the big difference between a terroristic group targeting deliberately civilians, and we, as a democratic state, as the army of a democratic state, trying to find a way to fight terrorists without harming the civilians.
Okay, sir, if I can just put out another video that the IDF has released, it's footage.
What I want you is to ask the Hamas to immediately liberate all hostages. Why is the Hamas holding babies? Tell me, please.
Do you suspect that some of these hostages...
That I'm asking. I'm not asking the question about our army doing its utmost in order to save lives. I'm asking, why is the Hamas not liberating babies? Why is the world quiet about this?
All right. The babies and all hostages, in fact, must be released. The Gaza Health Authority has also said that there are children who are without incubators. APTN, in fact, has released this footage, which shows children.
Madam,
yes.
Who are the Gaza authorities?
No, but there are images. Of course, it is controlled by Hamas.
I'm asking you, madam, who are the Gaza authorities?
They're controlled by Hamas. They're a part of Hamas.
They're controlled by Hamas. And Hamas is doing a psychological war. That's the war that Hamas is doing right now. It's a psychological war, telling the world, oh, come on. You know, it's like a guy who came into your home, abducted your children, raped your daughters, killed your father, then going to his home back, and when the police is coming there in order to arrest him, say, no, please, we haven't done anything. Look, the poor baby's here. Please, look at the whole picture, not only the small points who are coming out every time.
But are you contesting these images of children at Al-Shifa without incubators? Are you saying that this is propaganda by Hamas, that this hasn't happened?
By Hamas. Yes, madam. Yes, madam. We brought incubators because they said that they have no incubators, so we brought incubators with us.
All right. Thank you very much.
Ask them if they are using the incubators. Ask them if they are using the incubators. You have a bench of liars, of rapists, and that's what you are believing?
So clearly, in addition to what is happening on the ground, there is a huge information warfare also being waged by both sides. But for putting your version out...
Sides, madam, imagine that our children, our daughters, our sons, our fathers, our grandfathers are held by a terrorist organization, which is not giving the possibility to the International Red Cross to even visit them and see if they are okay. That's what we are dealing with, madam.
Ambassador Joel Leon, thank you very much for putting out your side, your version here on Times Now.
Thank you very much.